let me go ahead and start by the prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this wonderful day. We're grateful for Thee and that Thou continues to provide so many wonderful things in our lives and blessings. We're grateful for our loved ones and the joy and happiness that they bring to us. We're grateful for the beautiful weather outside, and we're grateful for the beautiful things around us too that Thou has created, that it can inspire us to also create beautiful things for others and also for ourselves in our lives. We're grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow. We're so grateful for the university and that it presents so many opportunities for so many across the world. We're grateful for our prophet and our leaders that continue to guide and direct us through Thy priesthood power. And we're grateful for all that Thou has given us. And please bless us now as we go through this demonstration, that I may have Thy Spirit with us, that I'll be able to know what I need to do to help the students to make this a better experience for them, to be able to learn and grow and be able to become better disciples of Christ, and also better creators and designers, and understanding the principles better and recognizing them. Please bless the students as they finish up their projects this week, that they may feel inspiration and guidance and be able to exercise their creativity, be able to pick up on the principles that they're missing, and be able to also help each other in a positive way to improve each other's learning experience too as well. We love Thee so very much, Heavenly Father, and we're grateful for Thee, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Use icons for. Why am I learning about icons? Well, first off, it's a good way to introduce you to Illustrator. But I actually, if you're looking at going into this industry or the marketing industry or anything like this, it's very important that you will realize the importance of icons. We actually see them on a daily basis, whether you recognize it or not. In just traffic signs, you start to recognize icons. They're easily recognizable objects that is representing some form of noun, whether it's coming across the deer in the middle of the street and recognizing it as deer crossing. This is an icon here. Icons are used often in logos to symbolize something. This is something I actually created in Illustrator so that it could be, it's a logo, but it's a heart with a baby and hands in it, representing an icon, representing parents and a baby. So anyways, but I've used icons for websites. I've used them for multiple things. But right here, if you look on adoption.com, these are all links to different things that our clients could go to. But I decided instead of just listing the links, it would be fun to have an icon next to it to represent it. So that's one way I've used icons. I've used icons, or you've seen icons constantly on websites. You see them also in advertisements. They're just a simpler way of representing something visually, in case we have those people, like myself, who are not really into reading per se, but they want to go in and actually, they're not really into reading, but they actually want to go in and kind of see what that represents. Icons is a good way of displaying that. So anyways, that's kind of my spiel on icons and why you're learning about them. So you can see this. All right. So once again, I decided that I would go in here and do the project with you as well. I don't know how many times I'm going to do this, because it is hard to grade your assignments, do draft critiques and all of that, and do the homework assignments with you. But I feel like it helps me sympathize with you and what is required of you, and making sure that it is something I would do, because this is a new course design, and I am a firm believer that if I can't do it, then I don't believe you should be able to do it. So I went in there and I made some icons. I call these my camping icons. Now you don't need to label it like I did. I just did this because I'm weird, but that's not part of the instructions to put text on there. Although I will not mark you off for it if you decide to put text above your icons. So I I had a little fun, so I just kept going because that's me. I just can't stop when I get going, and I wanted to make sure. Anyways, it's irrelevant why I kept going, but I did. So I did camping icons because my honey and I were really into camping and camping icons. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to show you. For one, here in Illustrator, you do not have to just put your icons on here displayed just as they are. I mean, our examples, wherever they went, our examples right here are nice, how they are displaying just the icons. But if you want to go further and you want to give it a little bump or push, you can unify them in a way. And so I've decided to unify them by creating a circle around them. And you'll find icons are displayed like this a lot as well. And I've done this before where I've just created circles around my icons to kind of create this shape and the same sizes. So you could do that. And then I also created, remember how I said don't do drop shadows, because I want you to be able to create your own shadows. So I created these shadows on here. This is also a very common way of displaying your icons, is to give them this long drop shadow that kind of makes it seem like it's coming out of the circle. So I'm going to teach you how to do that real quick, and how a couple of tools that might help you too in creating your icons. So first things first, when you're creating a stroke, let me start by doing that. If you notice, my strokes kind of have more curves to them. So let's go in here and do that. Let me switch these so it's a stroke. So I just use my pen tool to create a shape real quick so you can see that. And then I'm going over here to my stroke palette. And if you're not seeing that, you can always go Window and then go Stroke, and that'll pull it up. Okay. Now, what I love about the stroke palette, why I use that, is because it gives you more options than just having a single stroke. You could come in here, you can change it. Right now it's capped and it's like, it's sharp right angle edges, corners, right? But you can come in here and you can round your points, you can round your corners. See how it automatically just rounded that? That's what I did on these shapes to keep it more of a bubbly look to it, to each of the icons, is I just rounded the corners. You could also put it so it's inside the stroke. So the stroke is inside instead of in between, because normally it's in the middle, or it's on the outside is another option. So any of these will work. I actually believe I went on the outside of my stroke because I liked the more bubbly look to it when I was playing around with it. So I just wanted to show you that you have these options over here. You can increase your stroke size, and sometimes you just need your stroke to create an outline. You don't have to necessarily do a fill. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing I wanted to show you is this nice little tool, because I actually, believe it or not, I did not use the pen tool for this one. I used the pen tool for the majority of my shapes here, but this one, or I used the shape, the rectangular tool for that. But this one I actually hand drew with the blob tool, the blob brush tool. So you have your paintbrush tool here. If you click hold, underneath it is the blob brush tool. And I love the blob brush tool because for those who are not working like with a tablet, and normally I work on a tablet, I'm not a tablet, a Wacom tablet. Yeah, I guess it is a tablet, but it's a Wacom tablet where you can actually draw on like a surface, and then it's like writing with a pencil instead of using your trackpad or your mouse. But right now I'm on my laptop, so I only have my mouse with me. I left my tablet at work. So I use the blob brush tool when I'm trying to hand draw, because it's so hard to draw on your trackpad whoopsies. See, already I'm not happy with it. But anyways, it's so hard to draw on it because you're using your fingers and you're not using your pencil, and it's a little bit harder. So the nice thing about this tool is that but anyways, it like evens out the edges for you so that you don't have to do that yourself. So, I mean, this still isn't my favorite shape. I'd probably go in there and hand draw it again, but I was kind of drawing and running at the same time. Blob tool, super nice. When I'm trying to make my signature, I'll use that too. Sorry, I'm going to be sitting on my bed here. Let me reposition. But when I'm writing my signature, I'll be using that too because it cleans out the edges. So that's a highly recommended tool right here, the blob tool. The nice thing about this tool too is it'll combine shapes. So let's say you're already working with this shape. You want to come in here and add to it. You can just draw along it and it automatically adds to that shape. So if I click on that, sorry, I didn't have it selected. So let me select the shape, come over here, grab my blob brush tool, draw along it. It combines it with that shape. See? Now they're combined. So that's fun. All right, so we're done with that tool for now. Go ahead and play around with it. Have fun with it. Now, next thing I'm going to show you is how I make this shadow. Because this is an option you have. But this is, if you notice, if I just hover over it, it's just a shape. Here's a circle, here's just another shape. So really, in order to give my icons that extra pop, I just went in here, I used my pen tool, and I just decided where I wanted my shadow to start going. I kept it consistent all the way around, and I just pulled and dragged out these handlebars, went along the circle. I'm gonna have to clean it up clearly, but that's okay. We have the direct select tool to do that. And then just essentially created a shape. Now, of course, I don't want this to be a stroke. I wanted it to be on the inside. So I flip that around. And then I can come in here with my direct select tool. A shortcut for that is A on a PC or a Mac. It'll always be the same. That's nice. And so I can come in here. And the key is to click on the points directly. So I'm going to select a point. And then I can move that point wherever I want. I can click on a handlebar by just selecting it and move it wherever I want. Now, if you have the whole object selected and you come over here and click on a point, it's going to move it. So make sure you're just clicking on the individual point, and you'll see that it's highlighted. If you look, let me zoom in. The point that's selected is usually filled in. If it's not selected, it's not filled in. It's white, essentially. So that helps you know which point you have selected. So anyways, that's really all I did to create my drop shadow. Alls is a word in Idaho, okay? I know I just hicked myself by saying alls over here, but in Idaho, alls is a word. I know it drives some people crazy, but I grew up saying alls when I was a little girl, and it was pretty common. Like, alls you got to do is this, and alls I have left is this, and it was really a word, I promise. So I try and avoid it when I'm teaching, but every once in a while it comes out because I get comfortable. But anyways, so now I want to put this behind the bus. So I have several options. I could right click, I can go arrange, send to back, but that'll send it completely back, and I don't want that. I want to go send backwards. That'll start sending it behind layers. But because I don't want to go keep right clicking and go send back, I'm going to pay attention to the shortcuts. So the nice thing about Illustrator is whenever it has something in the menu like this, you can see that it has a little symbol next to it. Symbol, ironic, icon, symbols, you know, these are all things. But anyways, that's the shortcut for that tool. So for Mac, because I'm on a Mac, it's Command left bracket. That would be a left bracket. Okay, and that would send it to back. If you're on a PC, it will actually be either the window icon, you'll have a window icon on your laptop, or the control button, either one of those, okay? So anyways, I'm going to use that shortcut, and I just keep pressing it to go back, and eventually you see that it goes back enough steps to fill that in. So anyways, I went through, ooh, that is not the right angle. We're just gonna, Sister Peterson's such a perfectionist. Sorry, we're done perfecting. But anyways, as you can see, it's gonna need some fine tuning that I'll go in and do. But I created these shadows on all of them in order to create that fun effect. So that's my fun little tip for today. Let me know if you have any other questions, concerns, need help with anything. I'm happy to help. Lovely backlight. Anyways, have a good week. We'll see you later.